Dear students, today I'm going to discuss with you all about the different indicators of human development. Okay, so as we are discussing about the chapter human development in the Indian context, okay, so we need to discuss about the various indicators of human development. So what does the term indicators mean actually? What do you mean by the term indicators of human development? See, there are various aspects which we take into consideration for measuring the level of human development. Okay, so these different aspects we take into consideration, okay, are known as the indicators. So basically, they have been divided into three groups. Actually, you can say that is the indicators of economic attainment, the indicators of a healthy life, and the indicators of the social empowerment. Okay, so let us start with the indicators of economic attainment. Okay, so the indicators of economic attainment basically include a rich resource base and access to these resources by all the group of the people, whether rich or poor, whether marginalized or the well-being peoples. Okay, so what are the indicators of economic attainment? The indicators of economic attainment basically include a rich resource base and access to these resources by all. Okay, by particularly by the poor people, access to these resources particularly by the poor people, by the downtrodden people and the marginalized people, is the access to productivity, is the access to the productivity, okay, to well-being and human development of a nation. So uh, in a country when the resource base will be reach, okay, when the resource base will be very rich, okay, means adequate types of resource, adequate amount of resources will be there, enough amount of resources will be there. Okay, and when these resources will be equally distributed, okay, when the people, basically the poor people, the downtrodden and the marginalized people, when they will have equal access to these resources, okay, then what will happen, their productivity will increase. Okay, the level of productivity of these poor people will increase. They will live a okay, they are well-being, okay, like their benefit will be done, okay, they will live in a better position, okay, and ultimately it will lead to the human development. Just for example, if you take into consideration, okay, uh, access to the resources, okay, there are different resources, okay, which are available in our country. Okay, resources does not mean only the mineral resources actually. Okay, resources can be anything. Okay, it can be the employment opportunities. Okay, it can be the any kind of basic facilities and all. So when the people are getting access, equal access to these facilities and all, what is happening is that the people, okay, the poor people and the downtrodden people, okay, they also start living a better life. Okay, their level of productivity increases, and ultimately the standard of living of these poor people and the downtrodden people also gets enhanced. Okay, and ultimately it leads to the human development. Okay, so reached resource base and access to resources is the main indicator of economic development. So the gross national product and its per capita availability are taken as the measures to reach resource, are measures to access the resource base or endowment of any country. Okay, so basically we take into consideration the GNP, gross national product, and the per capita availability. Okay, means the gross national production of a nation, and the per capita means per person availability of this GNP is taken as the measurement to access the resource. Okay, so basically the gross national product actually, okay, the value of the products, okay, the gross national product and its per capita availability, okay, it helps in determining the access to resource base. So if we are having like a better GNP and like the per capita availability is also higher, then we can say that the people of a nation, okay, is having a equal access to the resources. Economic attainment and the well-being of individuals depend on the economic growth, employment opportunities, and access to this asset. Okay, so basically the economic attainment or the economic development, you can say, okay, the economic attainment and the well-being of the individuals, okay, depends on the economic growth of the nation. It depends on the employment opportunities which are available to these people, as well as access to different kinds of assets. Okay, access to different kind of assets, so that the people, okay, by earning some money they can own some asset. Okay, So basically, it is obviously true that whenever a country will progress economically, okay, whenever a country will progress economically, okay, when there will be economic growth, ultimately what will happen, the benefits, okay, like the people of the nation will also get the benefit of those economic development. Okay. And moreover, when the people, okay, they are having employment opportunities, okay, they are working in the better organizations and also, okay, they have enough money in their hand, okay, and through which they can have access to the asset, okay, they can own some assets and all. So ultimately what will happen, that it will lead to the human development, it will increase the level of standard of living of the people. Over the years, the per capita income and the consumption expenditure in India has increased. And even over the years, in the last few decades, we have seen that the per capita income of the people of our country has increased, as well as the consumption, okay, the consumption expenditure in India has also increased, which reflects that the people, okay, that the people are now, okay, earning more amount of money, as well as they are also spending more amount of money, okay, for their well-being. So in the earlier day, okay, the per capita income is the average income per person. Okay, so the per capita income in the earlier days was very less, okay, and the expenditure, okay, and the expenditure on consumption of these various goods and all was very less. Why? Because at that time people, they did not have enough money in their hand to purchase the goods for their life, for survival. They used to purchase what kind of good? Only the foods, grains and all for their survival. But now, with the increase in the per capita income, okay, now the per capita income of the people has increased. Okay, so with this increased income, now the people, okay, they can, apart from meeting their daily needs, okay, apart from like meeting the daily needs in terms of this food and all, okay, they are having some surplus amount of money in their hand, okay, which they can use, okay, for purchasing the other commodities, other goods and all, okay, which means that the consumption expenditure, okay, means the expenditure on consuming the goods, okay, the expenditure on consuming certain goods has increased in our country, which reflects that the living standard of the people of India is increasing. Okay, so now you can see almost every household is having at least a motorcycle. Okay, and even in the urban areas, you notice, okay, basically in the like metropolitan cities, big metropolitan cities, okay, you notice that every people is having access to the four wheelers and all. Okay, oh, as well as the various modern amenities, modern gadgets and also, okay, the households are having. Okay, so which reflects, okay, that the living standard of the people is increasing. As a result, there has been a consistent decline in the proportion of people living the below poverty line. Okay, and as a result of this, what has happened? The percentage of people living below the poverty line has reduced. Okay, before, a majority of the population of our country, okay, they were under abject poverty. Okay, they were below the poverty line. But now, okay, with the increase in the expenditure, okay, with the income actually, okay, the person, you can say, the poverty has got reduced actually. Okay, the percentage of persons below the poverty line in 2011 and 12 has been estimated as 25.7% in rural areas. Okay, in 2011 and 12, okay, it is estimated that around 25.7% of the population in the rural areas, they are living in below poverty, whereas in the urban areas the case is only 13.7%. Okay, only 13.7% of the population in the urban areas, they are living below the poverty line. Okay, and if we take into consideration the whole country, okay, only 21.9%, that means around 22%, okay, only 22% of the total population of our country, okay, they live below the poverty line. Okay, but in the earlier days, just after the independence, okay, a majority of the percentage of the population of our country, they were living below the poverty line. The data of poverty for the states, it shows that there are states like Chhattisgarh, okay, there are states like Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Manipur, Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, okay, and Bihar, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Manipur, and Odisha, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, which have recorded more than 30% of their population below the poverty line. Okay, so there are some states, okay, where the rate of poverty is very high. Okay, where the rate of poverty is very high, that means a larger percentage of the population, okay, they live below the poverty line actually. Okay, like in the case of this states like Chhattisgarh, okay, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, okay, Manipur, Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Bihar, okay, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Manipur, Odisha, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, then okay, these are the states where more than 30% of the people they live below the poverty line. Other states like Gujarat, Haryana, Jammu and Kashmir, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Rajasthan, Tripura, okay, Tamil Nadu, Uttarakhand, and West Bengal, they have recorded 10 to 20% of their population below the poverty line. Okay, so the other states, okay, like Gujarat, Haryana, Jammu and Kashmir, Maharashtra, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Tripura, Uttarakhand, and West Bengal, okay, they have recorded 10 to 20% of their population living below the poverty line. So we can say that these are the states which are having a moderate level of poverty. Okay. On the other hand, basically the states like Andhra Pradesh, Union Territory of Delhi, the state of Goa, Himachal Pradesh, Kerala, Punjab, Sikkim, Puducherry, Andaman and Nicobar, Daman and Diu, Lakshadweep, okay, they have recorded less than 10% of the population below the poverty line. Okay, so here you can see that there are certain states in our country where the level of poverty is quite high, more than 30%. And even there are some states where the level of poverty is less than 10%. Okay, and like there are some states actually, okay, which has recorded a poverty of like 1%, 5% and all. Okay, that means a majority of the population in those states, okay, they are above the poverty line, basically in these states. So what does poverty mean? Or what do we mean by the term poverty actually? Poverty is a state of deprivation. Okay, poverty is a state of deprivation. In absolute terms, it reflects the inability of an individual to satisfy certain basic needs for a sustained, healthy, and reasonably productive living. Okay, so poverty is what? Poverty is a state of deprivation where the people are deprived of the basic necessities. Okay, when the person does not have access to the basic facilities, does not have access to the basic necessities, then that particular person is considered to be living below the poverty line. Okay, and what are the basic necessities actually? Food, shelter, okay, food, shelter, and clothing. These are the basic necessities. Okay, so even in our country, there are some people who does not get food, okay, 2 times a day, even 1 time also a day also, it becomes quite difficult for them to earn their pay. Okay, they does not have a proper housing facilities. Okay, some of the people, okay, they live in the very like unhygienic housing facilities and all. Okay, even they does not have access to better clothing facilities and all. Okay, so those group of people are considered to be living below the poverty line. Okay, so in absolute terms, it reflects the inability of an individual. Okay, so when an individual is unable, okay, to satisfy certain needs, okay, which is required for sustaining the life, which is required to live a healthy life, okay, which is required to live a productive life, okay, is considered as a poor, or is considered as a living below the poverty line. The gross domestic product of a country does not fully reflect the quality of life of a country. So basically, we take into consideration the GDP and the GNP. Okay, gross domestic product and the gross national product. Okay, so GDP and the GNP actually, okay, it does not provide like you can say better information. Okay, it does not provide us a better information about the quality of life of the people. Okay, there are other factors. Okay, there are other factors like housing, access to the public transport, okay, access to air, means better quality air, okay, quality and access to drinking water, better quality air, okay, better quality access to drinking water, which also determine the standard of living. Okay, so the gross domestic product, okay, it provides us a partial view of development. Okay, it provides us a partial view about the quality of life of the people. But apart from this, okay, the housing facilities, access to the public transport facilities, access to clean water and air facilities also determine the standard of living. Because in the urban areas, okay, what do we mainly think? That people living in the urban areas, they are rich, they enjoy a better standard of life. But it is not so actually, because in the urban areas only you find that there are many people living in the footpath, there are many people living in the slums and all. okay, where they does not have better access to clean drinking water facilities. Okay, the air is polluted. Okay, they does not have better access to the housing facilities and all. Okay, so their living standard, okay, is very less as compared to the people, okay, living in the posh areas of the urban areas. Okay, so drink access to drinking proper clean and drinking water, okay, access to clean air, access to housing facilities, access to the public transport facilities are also taken into consideration while determining the standard of living of the people. So jobless growth and rampant unemployment are some of the important reasons for higher incidences of poverty in India. Okay, so jobless growth. Okay, like in our country nowadays, we can see in the present scenario of this depression because of this COVID situations and all. Okay, and even earlier also we have seen that unemployment, the rate of unemployment is increasing rapidly. Okay, so because of this unemployment, what is happening? Okay, the percentage of poverty, okay, the incidences of poverty in India is also increasing because when the people they will lose their job, they will not have enough money in their hand or they will not have enough earning to feed their family. So in that case, they will suffer from poverty. Okay, so unemployment, increasing incidences of unemployment is directly related with the increasing cases of person living below the poverty line. Okay, so these are the different uh, aspects. Okay, these are the different aspects which we take into consideration. Okay, while determining the level of human development. Okay, and indicators of economic development, it provides us a better information or idea. Okay, about the economic uh, standard of the people of our nation actually, okay, through which we can determine or we can have some idea that whether the people they are living in a better position or they are suffering from poverty. So this chart, okay, this is the data according to 2011 and 12. Okay, 2011 and 12 data. Okay, it basically provides us information, okay, about the percentage of poverty of different states. Okay, so if you see here, the overall percentage of poverty in our country is 21.9%. That means approximately 22%. Okay, and if you take into consideration, okay, all the states and the union territories together. Okay, if you take into consideration all the states and the union territories together, I think Andaman and Nicobar is the Andaman and Nicobar Island is the place which is having a very less percentage of poverty. Okay, only 1% of the population of Andaman and Nicobar they live below the poverty line. Okay. And the highest percentage of poverty, if we take into consideration, okay, including the union territories also, okay, it is Chhattisgarh, 39.23%. Okay, Chhattisgarh has recorded the highest percentage of poverty actually. Okay. So, like you may be getting the question that which state is having the less percentage of people living below the poverty line, or which in which state, okay, larger percentage of the population, okay, or which state has recorded the highest percentage of people living below the poverty line. Okay, so Chhattisgarh is the state which has recorded the highest percentage of people living below the poverty line. Around 40% of the people of Chhattisgarh they live below the poverty line. Okay, and in terms of state, I am saying state wise actually. Okay, I'm not taking into consideration the union territories also. In terms of state wise, uh, it is Goa. Okay, like only 5%, which is only 5% of the population of Goa. Okay, they are living below the poverty line. Okay, so this is what about the indicators of economic development. Okay, this is what about the indicators of economic development, which provides us information about the economic well-being of the people. Okay, which helps in determining the level of poverty, the level of human development of our nation.